punk rockin', Nickelback poppin', curls for all the girls, the Terminator, Sam Beal. As seen on Impact Wrestling, and you are listening to The Final Count.
Hey everybody, Anthony Corelli here, formerly known as Santino Morella, and you are listening to The Final Count.
Hey, it's Eric Ornish, Voice of the Valley from OVW, and you're checking out The Final Count.
Citizens, this is Super Z, and you're watching The Final Count.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is pro wrestling's giant personality, the height of independent wrestling, Mr. Larger Than Life, big time Ethan Higher, and you're watching the Final Count podcast.
This is Mega Monzo, and you're Mega listening and Mega watching the Final Count podcast. Yeah!
That is right. It is that time again. It is time for the Final Count Spotlight. And on this episode, I will be joined by, in just a few moments, she is Slammin Sammy. That is right. I'll be joined by Slammin Sammy in just a few moments. Everyone from the Final Count, you're going to be able to be introduced to Slammin Sammy and get to learn about her. And she's young in the business and in her wrestling career. And so it's going to be exciting to talk to Slammin Sammy in just a few moments. But first of all, I want to go ahead and thank all of you, our listeners, our watchers, and viewers, and all of our supporters following us on all of our social media, whether that's on Facebook, on Instagram, on X, on TikTok even. As you can see, if you're watching, you can see at the Final Count KY on pretty much all of our social medias. And then Facebook.com/The Final Count KY on Facebook. So thank you for all of your likes, all of your hearts, all of your shares, comments, all the good stuff. And watching and listening to the shows, whether that's watching us on YouTube when we do Facebook Lives or on our audio versions of the podcast. And speaking of thank you, we also want to thank you for supporting our sponsors. And with that being said, I want to thank one of our main sponsors here at the Final Count, that being Al Snow's Collar and Elbow. Go to collarandelbowbrand.com. Use our promo code FinalCountKY to save 10% at checkout. Again, collarandelbowbrand.com. Use our promo code FinalCountKY to save 10% at checkout. Go over there and let Al Snow and the guys at Collar and Elbow know that the Final Count sent you. And grab yourself a nice fitting shirt, some nice hats, hoodies, all the good stuff. Great comfortable shirts and everything right there from the guys at collarandelbowbrand.com and Al Snow. Speaking of our good friend Al Snow, with more on Collar and Elbow, let's go to Al Snow.
Wrestling. A love and a passion we all share. I've started a wrestling brand. The wrestling brand. A brand founded on the aspects of wrestling. Two entities working together to create a product that connect emotionally for people everywhere. Collar and Elbow is the brand. Passion and love for wrestling is the drive. I am Al Snow, and this is Collar and Elbow, the wrestling brand.
There you have it. And right now, without further ado, it's time. No, it's not Vader time, but it is Slammin time. Please welcome with me my guest, Slammin Sammy. How are you doing, Slammin Sammy?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
Doing pretty good. I'm excited about having you on the Final Count. A funny story, before I reached out to you, I had friend requested your dad on Facebook, not knowing it was your dad, thinking it was you, because I was with the profile picture. I was like, wait a minute. I saw the name and then saw the profile picture. I'm thinking, okay, this is a wrestler. a lot of times that's what I'll do. I'll go on Facebook and friend request wrestlers about being on the podcast. So I'm like,
Yeah.
see if she'd want to be on the podcast, not knowing it was your dad. So that's a funny story right there.
Don't worry, that's happened more than once. So yeah.
Oh goodness. So as I mentioned, you're young in the business. Kind of first of all, tell everyone like kind of what area of the country you're from and things like that.
So I am from an area. I am from a PA, Dunbar, PA.
Okay.
It's like southwestern Western PA. So
nice.
So yeah.
So you're like that would be kind of Midwest, right? No, my geography is not very good. So
yeah, 50 miles south of Pittsburgh. So
really, okay,
yeah.
Okay, I got you. So every one of us, whether you're in wrestling, whether you're in the business, or just a fan on the outside looking in, we all have that moment that hooks us, that turns us into a wrestling fan. What was that moment for you? When did you decide that you wanted to get into the pro wrestling business?
So the moment I decided, and I was like really young. I would say about 6 years old, 7 years old even. And there wasn't like a specific, like I don't have like a specific like match necessarily or anything like that I remember, but there was one faction that got me turned into wrestling, and that was the Shield. So that got me turned on into that. So
definitely. So the Shield, I like that. That's interesting. Because I do have a question for you a little bit later that does kind of have to do with factions. So we'll see what you think about factions there a little bit later. And it looks like with the Shield being one of your favorite factions and that got you hooked onto wrestling, that's something. Who were some of your inspirations that you enjoyed watching growing up, but then also now that you're in the business, who's some people that you kind of take from what you see watching them and kind of make it your own style?
So I take a lot of like growing up, my inspirations were pretty much like, because we mentioned the Shield just now, and I would say Seth Rollins too. Like a big large part. I still watch him to this day, and there were other people, like there was like Tyler Breeze for a short while, or whatever his new name is now.
Yeah,
I don't know. But
all right, Tyler Breeze and Seth Rollins right there, two great phenomenal people to have as inspirations. As far as like today, do you have anyone today that you kind of like watch and look up to a lot?
I would say for like the most part, I love like looking to Becky Lynch as an inspiration. Like,
okay, Becky
like
Lynch.
Her story, like I feel like connects to mine in a lot of ways. So
definitely, I love that. Who were you trained by, and then how did you go about choosing the wrestling school that you would train at?
So, I was trained by a man named under the name of Brandon K. down at the Stronghold Training Center in Uniontown. And really the formality of like figuring out where to train, like where we figured out was based like where was our like closest option, because it's like literally it's like our backyard. Like it takes us like 10 minutes to get there, and it was like, and I started like going to there because they also have a company called Rise Wrestling. Mm-hmm. I used to go to like their indie shows when I was 13 before I started training, and I thought, well, what place better to go than to that place, you know?
Right on, exactly. So you grew up going to their shows and everything, and just made all the sense to know, like you said, it's in your backyard and pretty much, and so like that's like OVW with me. Like I'd love to be a part of OVW, but for me right now, financially, that's something that's not in the works. But like, there's other promotions that I could get a part of.
Right.
They're close by. So like, yeah, and it's always, I think it's a good advice to go to someone that's has a reputation for putting out great talents. So what talents have they put out where you trained at?
They have put out like great talents. Like if you watch WWE Fia Hale,
Mhm.
she was trained in the Stronghold Train Center, so that's someone else who we have.
Nice.
We also have Lee Moriarty, who's currently on AEW,
Yes.
and yeah, so he trained with us. And also we have Lady Frost, which is in the works with AEW. So yeah, that's some of the people that we have.
Definitely. That's pretty cool. And what was your training like? Like, was it rough or um, taking those bumps? I know it can be pretty difficult sometimes.
Well, for me, I felt like when I just felt like I loved training. I knew how the bumps were gonna be,
Mhm.
were gonna be like because I had a jiu-jitsu background
Yes.
originally, so I knew what was coming for me. Learned it, had to learn a different way, but yeah, the training for me was just very good and like exactly what I wanted, So
Right. You knew what you were expecting going into it and everything.
right.
Um, Now you mentioned being in jujitsu. I can't pronounce that correctly. Jujitsu. I don't know if I still said it right, but I digress. But how do you feel like being a part of that helped you getting into wrestling?
I feel like being a part of that because I was not only also part of jiu-jitsu, but I was a part of karate for 7 years too.
Yes.
Along with that, I feel like that like helped me out in so many ways. Like first of all, to hang with the men, of course,
Mhm.
and then and then just for like meant for like all forms of toughness, like mental, physical, you name it. And I found like my confidence and stuff really and all that.
Definitely, and it also gives you an athletic background as far as that goes too, as well. So
Yeah.
I love that. Do you remember your first match? If so, what was that like?
So yeah, my first match was in the Uniontown Mall at Rise Wrestling against Laura Lovelace. I remember I felt like the match was great. I mean, it was like a dream come true. Hearing people shouting your name and everything, you just love it.
Oh, that's got to be so cool, like for sure. I'm glad that it went great for you. So many people that I have on, they're like, "Oh, I just got put into a match, or my match wasn't that great or something." And it's like it was a big mess or something. I'm glad to hear that yours was great for sure. um, if you could pick 3 matches that you've had thus far in your career, and this is going to be a tough one, because it's hard to pick those kind of favorite matches. So
Right.
if you could pick 3 matches, narrow it down to 3 that you've had thus far in your career, what matches would you pick?
Okay. Well, it's a long shot, but I like to pick like first obviously like my debut match as we talked about. I like to pick that one to me because it just signifies like what I've been through to get there and what could have the journey moving forward. And also I'd like to say like there was this like this match I had. It was a Rumble match. It was like 20 other men and I won it. Felt pretty good for me. Actually 21 men. I'm sorry. But yeah, still. And I feel like another one I had was I had a match with a girl by the name of Pepper Pride, and she was a great wrestler, very very talented. So
That's awesome. I love that, especially the battle royal that you won that battle royal against all those guys. And so like that right there proves, you can hang with the guys, you can hang with the girls. I mean,
Yeah.
love it.
Both.
Now this one, I don't know if with you being so young in the business, I don't know if you've been able to be a heel yet, but do you prefer to work as a babyface or a heel?
I haven't been heel yet, no, but I mean, I would be willing, to work either way, either sides, because that's how you have to be. For now, yes, I do love being a baby face and hearing them cheer my name and stuff. So I love that, and it's all great. And I wouldn't be opposed to turning heel,
There you go. Have to be open to everything. Love to be open to everything.
Right.
And like you said, you can't go wrong being a babyface for real.
Right.
I know people say it's fun being a heel, but to have the admiration and love of the fans and them cheering your name, you can't beat that for sure. How would you describe your in-ring style for someone who may have not seen a Slammin Sammy match?
So I would say that my technical is very just aggressive and just very just groundwork, ground and pound, aggressive and technical ability and all that.
All right, so like a ground and pound technical kind of.
Yes.
Love that. How did you come up with calling yourself Slammin Sammy?
So actually, originally it wasn't me who first introduced my name Slammin Sammy. It was whenever I was in martial arts. It was actually my instructor at the time in martial arts who presented me with that name. And he would always call me that name all the time because of the way I fight, because of my brutality, intensity, and aggressiveness or whatever. So I felt like that. So I felt like then that name belonged to me, and it was like a gift that I didn't expect. But I'm glad I have it. And through what I've been through my whole life, I know exactly now who Slammin Sammy is and how to show it.
I love that. I love that you got that from karate and everything. I love that, and you've stuck with it. And with you mentioned you now know who Slammin Sammy is. How would you describe Slammin Sammy?
I would describe Slammin Sammy as the female Rocky Balboa. The person that everybody expects to fail or expects to fall down or being told they're not good enough, and then turn around and just shows them, hey, no, I am good enough.
I love that. You won me with that one. That was a great answer. And it's good when you know who you are, when you're able to tell who your character is, and I love that. That's very important to be able to do that. Can you talk about your match working with Evelyn Sage at Maximum Valley Wrestling?
Oh, of course. She was a great opponent to work with, especially great character too, by far. Just a great character. Kind of gives me a Tony Storm vibe, kind of. But yeah, she was a great character. Had some nice movements in the ring, and I say that's another one I can put on there of one of my best matches. So.
Yeah, I watched that match earlier today, and it was a really good match. I enjoyed watching it too. And I could, like you said, she kind of like a Tony Storm character. Yeah, I could see that too.
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah, I could see that. Can you talk about working with Lexus Sim at APW Uncharted Waters?
Yeah. It's interesting for me, working with her because she's such I'm 5'4", and she's 5'4.5" actually, and she's taller than me. So, but yeah, working with her, I mean, I've learned to adapt and work with her over the years, and I feel like because our relationship wasn't close the first time, but then we got brought right in and got closer, and now I think with both of us working together and helping each other, that helps us along the way as we keep working together. So
Definitely. Can you talk about working your match with? Is it? I'm gonna butcher this name, and it's another name I'm probably gonna butcher. Pegasa.
yeah, she was another one that was a very dynamic worker, just someone who I felt like we had like a good planning, we had like a good structure. I consider that to be a good match too, because I felt like we both really bought like what we could have to the table, and and it was from both sides, because wrestling has to be that 50 has to be 50-50 to give the perfect 100 there.
Exactly. You have to have that chemistry, and it looked like you both had that chemistry together, and so that's what makes great matches too. When you have that chemistry, I like it's kind of like a lucha style too, right there too.
Yes.
I love that. Um, what are some of your favorite match types to work?
Some of my very match types to work, of course, like, are we talking like match stipulations or just like
Yeah, like stipulations. Yes.
Okay, match stipulations. I mean, always liking a singles match. Those are always fun. And then I really like rumbles too, because I can get my hands on the guys. But yeah, that's a whole other thing. And also, all of it. Tag team matches, and some. And I have a couple of triple threats. So yeah.
Triple threats are always good, great matches right there.
Oh yeah.
And battle royals, can't go wrong with a battle royal. Although my kind of I like battle royals, and I wish they would do those kind of battle royals more, like battle royals, like
Right.
where you have not over the top, but where you have to pin someone to be eliminated. I love those kind of battle royals.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on intergender wrestling? And do you feel like it should be, or do you feel like it should have a place in bigger promotions such as like WWE, TNA, AEW?
I feel like that depends like on the person's like perspective and opinion, and I think it also deals with the comfort of the other individual. Like me, I don't care. I'd get in the ring with a guy, whatever. But there are some like there are promoters and stuff out there that don't really like that type of thing, which I can respect and be like, okay, that's how you want to be. Okay, we can move forward, whatever. So in a way, I would never be opposed to it. And also at the same time, if a promoter didn't want to do it, I respect that too. So yeah, my opinion is just like whatever they want to do. So
Have you
yeah.
been on some any like all women shows or anything before?
Yeah, I was actually on an all woman show for the one promotion called WDWA. So
That's
yeah.
awesome. I'm not really like, okay, I'm not saying I don't like women's wrestling, because I do.
Right.
And I watch some, all women shows, but I'm not like so much into it. They're like, well, I watch well.
Yeah.
I've never really caught Shimmer much, but I would love to.
Yeah.
Shimmer was always something that was really, I think, even before WoW came back, was really something that was always big. But I never got to catch one of their shows. Who have been some of your favorite people to work with thus far in wrestling?
Oh boy. Yeah. I would say like favorites as far as it goes. I would say Pegasa, because she was very she had her own style, and we could incorporate our styles together to make something good. And I would say, and Lexus too, mainly as we move forward. So, yeah, I would say those are a couple.
All right. Fair. That's fair. What are some promotions that you have worked thus far? And then, are there any new promotions you would like to that you have on your radar in 2025?
So the promotions that I have done are Rise Wrestling. I've done Rise Wrestling, APWF, RWA, Maximum Velocity Wrestling. I've done Free WA, Battle on the Border, and WDWA, as I mentioned earlier, and Law, RSW, and Wrestling and Recovery. I mean, as far as like promotions are, there's like a couple ones out like in the PA area, like out in Erie and stuff. I think I'd really like to go out there and do them, and also willing to travel, willing to get out of the state and do more. So,
have you had any promotions in the other states? I know Ohio or border Battle on the Border, and that kind of in Ohio or
that's Ohio, and I also that's where Wrestling Recovery was down in New Jersey. So
okay,
yeah,
nice. Hopefully you can get to Kentucky at some point. That'd be really cool. Kentucky or Indiana or something.
It'd be great.
Who are some new people you would like to work with in 2025?
Oh boy, there are a lot of new hungry talented women out there. So I would say any of them that I'd like to work. I mean, I feel like I've always had my eye on like Katie Arquette.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, so she would be a nice one to work. She's been known all over. So yeah, that's just one of the people.
Katie Arquette, okay.
Yeah.
That'd be a good match. That'd be a really good match. So here's one where you have to think a little bit on this one too, or you might already know. So if you could create your own match type, what would the match consist of as far as rules? And then what would the name of your match be?
Oh boy. I don't know. but yeah, I mean, I feel like since I have the background of like the shield in my arsenal of the shield in my arsenal so much, I feel like doing like some type of like a match, like a steel chair type of match type of thing,
I like that.
And I feel like the rules, and I feel like the rules would be like you can use the chair like anytime you want. There'd be like no count out or anything like that. You know what I mean?
There you go. What about the Slammin chair match?
Oh, yeah. Now you're thinking.
Then you could throw the chairs at your opponent too.
Yeah,
that'd be pretty cool. So speaking of factions, we talked about factions.
Right.
If you could create your own faction, how many members would you have in your faction? Who would you want as members of your faction? And what would you name your faction?
I feel like I'd have like at least like no more than probably maybe three other people.
Mm-hmm.
3 other people or like 2. I'd feel like I'd have like Becky Lynch on my team. Yeah, just little fantasy ideas here. I feel like I'd have like Paige too. She's also a very, very great wrestler.
Yes.
Seen her movie, loved it. And also, okay, adding one. Also, I feel like this one might rub some people the wrong way, but I mean, hey, I think Charlotte Flair too.
I think that'd be a great.
Why
one.
not?
Right? Exactly.
Yeah,
It's
it
your
would
faction.
be great. Hey, it'd be great. And
Who cares if everybody don't like it? It's your faction.
right. I feel like the name would be, I feel like our name would be like, would be like we call ourselves the Slammers or Slammin, something like that.
Slammin'.
Definitely.
Yes. I love that. I love that. That'd be pretty cool. Pretty cool faction right there. Dominant too.
Yeah.
If I do say so myself. Um, if you could have any music artist make you an entrance theme song, who would you want that artist to be?
I would definitely pick if it, I would definitely pick if like they were still doing the music that they do like nowadays. I feel like definitely would be Motley Crue.
Motley Crue? Okay.
Yeah, definitely.
Be a good choice. That's a really good choice.
Love all
Do you
their
have any
songs.
favorite Motley Crue song?
I love like all their like classic 80s song.
Mhm.
Like their one song, Kickstart My Heart, which I come out to. So I love that. That's like one of my favorites. And then like they have another one too called the same old situation.
Mhm.
I like that one too. So
Nice. I love that. So you talked about you know when you described who Slammin Sammy is. You talked about you see Slammin Sammy as like Rocky Balboa type. You might think she's down and out, but she's gonna come back. She's on the comeback.
right.
For for little girls that might be out there watching you, that maybe they're being told, I can't do this or you can't do that. Or maybe they've come up in a background as far as like they're too scared or they're too fearful of something, of trying something, whatever that might be, trying something new, whatever that might be. What could you say to them to encourage them to never give up, to fight?
I would say, 100% always be brave, believe in yourself, and if you get knocked down again, get back up and keep going and still like walking with that chip on your shoulder to show people that you're not done, you're not going to die down.
Very good advice. I really, really think that can help someone and help, anyone. It doesn't have to necessarily be a girl,
Right.
although it could be anyone, no matter what they're going through. Don't give up. Keep on fighting. Keep on swinging. Keep on fighting. You're not out of it unless you stay down.
Right.
So, we talked about a dream opponent, but do you have any other, like, what would be your main dream opponent? Like that ultimate match, the ultimate dream match.
I would have to, because we were just talking about her before. I mean, I'd love to wrestle like Paige or Syra, whatever the name is. She goes by now. Yeah, Saraya. Yeah.
That would be a good match.
Yeah, I think it would be amazing because it's like two families that know like a lot about wrestling and really love it. So
exactly. Where would you want the location to be at, or venue?
Geez, this would be a wild one, but I would say Madison Square Garden. I mean, honestly.
Yeah. Hey, go big or home, right?
Yeah. I feel like that's the dream arena,
Exactly. It is. And then what are some of your goals within the next 5 years?
My goals is to keep growing, keep learning, keep getting better. Obviously, to keep on traveling and doing my thing, all that. And also my main goal mainly is to get signed anywhere, the opportunity arises. TNA, WWE, AEW, all of that stuff. So
definitely. Well, I definitely hope that all of those plan out for you and pan out for you. And I'm sure they will. I'm sure that, you just keep on pushing, keep on fighting, that,
Right.
you're going to get noticed and you're going to be seen. And then one day you come back to the Final Count and be like, look at me now.
Right.
With that being said, I'm going to let you take some time to plug some upcoming shows that you're going to be on.
All right. So I will be on a show Saturday, March 22nd, in Virginia. That will be at next up Pro Wrestling. I will be facing Laylee James, and then on Saturday, March 29th at PCWA Schuylkill Haven, PA, I'll be up against Valerie Verman. So those will be a couple of dates to look out for this month. So yeah.
Awesome. And then I know you sent me this other flyer here. Is that April? Looks like it's an April date, I believe.
Yeah.
Era of a New King.
Yeah. Yeah, that will be Enterprise Pro Wrestling. I'll be there, McConnellsburg, PA on April 26th. So, yeah.
Awesome. Well, I definitely encourage all of the fans, if you're in the area or in these areas, get out and support Slammin Sammy, but also get out and support indie wrestling. Support these men and women that are putting their bodies on the line for your entertainment, and spend your hard-earned money and go buy you some merch. Go buy some Slammin Sammy merch.
Yes.
Go check out and support Slammin Sammy and all of the wrestlers on these shows. If you are within driving distance, or if you want to make a trip out of it, go support Slammin Sammy and indie wrestling wherever you are in the country. Support indie wrestling in your area.
Right.
We can't stress that enough right here at the Final Count.
Yeah.
Slammin Sammy, is there any way that the fans can follow you on social media?
Okay, so you can reach out to me just on Facebook at the name is just Slammin Sammy, and then you can also check me out on Instagram, which is Slammin Sammy Official, and then I have a TikTok. I don't know how many people fool around with TikTok, but it's at Slammin Sammy 101. So
yes, I just followed you on TikTok today. Matter of fact,
yeah, I saw.
Yeah. Well, I'll have a clip of this interview up there on TikTok as well, so be looking out for that. And one last question: how can promoters contact you for their next show?
They can contact me for Facebook at Slammin Sammy, or even on Instagram if they have it. Just message me, and I'll respond back.
All right, there you have it, promoters. Go book Slammin Sammy for your next show. You will not be disappointed, and it will be a Slammin Time, because it is Slammin Sammy time. It is Slammin Time, and so yeah, Slammin Sammy. It's been great having you on the Final Count as my guest on this spotlight. You're welcome to come back anytime.
Great. Well, thank you for having me.
Thank you, and you have a great evening. Okay.
Yep, you as well.
Thank you.
Wrestling, a love and a passion we all share.